wise man seeks much counsel. I don't know that I sought enough counsel back then. And this kind of alludes to a story, you know. I had a board of directors and I had 12 men and women that were in other industries. Only one person on that board was in the real estate space, and everybody else was in a different industry, did something else, but they were a lot smarter than me. And we would meet with the board, you know, every quarter, and did for 3 or 4 years as we built that business. And really thought we were getting some good advice, and it really were. But in the spring of 2010, I had a board meeting, and I was walking into the board meeting, and I was met in the parking lot by my in-house legal counsel. And he said to me, he said, and my intention was to walk into the meeting, let them know everything that was going on, and say, what do we do? Right? I never thought I was breaking the law. Moving money is not a crime. It was the disclosure, not telling people that I did that. But I'm walking into this meeting with full intention, and my attorney goes, hey, wait, and meets with me in the parking lot of this restaurant we were going to. And he says, I don't talk about any of that tonight. And I'm like, what do you mean? I said, you know, my full intention is to go in here, try and get some advice from these people. He said, no, we don't have enough information. I said, how much more information do we need? We're bleeding cash at, you know, I don't remember what the number was per day. We can't pay our bills. We can't pay investors. People are wanting money back. We've devalued property 40%. What do we do? And he said, look, give me 2 weeks. My attorney says, give me 2 weeks. Let me put some things together. We'll do a conference call. I promise you we'll get everybody together. Well, that meeting 2 weeks later never happened. And we kind of just shuffled through the board meeting that night. And, you know, after that, it was just straight, you know, downhill after that. So what I did was I allowed somebody else to dictate what I knew innately as the CEO of that company to do, to follow my gut instinct, which said, hey, go get help. And, you know, I don't know, I might have been in a different place today, or that the last 10 years as a result of if I would have followed my gut instinct, but I let somebody else talk me out of it. And so, you know, anybody listening, listen, if you're running a company, you innately know what you need to do, what the right thing is, what the right choice is. Do it.
Man, there's so much to unpack. I mean, first of all, again, like this is such an incredible information and so valuable. So what was the time like leading up to, like, how did they like even tell you that you were breaking the law? Like, how did you get arrested? I mean, what did that look like? And what was that period of time? How did they find out? First of all, I mean, how did it all sort of unfold?
So two crazy things happened. We had one of our key C-suite employees in our company was on an offsite project. And I just need to say that I didn't agree with the project the whole time it was going on, but my partner and our in-house legal counsel thought it was a good idea. So we had this key employee offsite working in someone else's office, and they were, you know, at the time they were trying to monetize some bonds. They thought they could, you know, if they got the bonds monetized, they'd bring some capital to the company. And I thought it was a scam, to be honest with you. Well, that guy that they were working for got indicted for something that he had done 5 years earlier in Arizona. We were in Chicago, and this was all going on in Chicago. We didn't own any real estate in Chicago. Everything we owned was Texas, Alabama, and in the Ohio Valley. But that guy got indicted. So our name came up as a victim on the case. So that was one thing that happened. And then another thing that happened was we had two investors, unbeknownst to each other, go to the same attorney down in Chicago to try and sue us to get their capital back. Well, Eric, you know as well as I do that real estate's not liquid, especially when there's a devaluation in the marketplace. You can't go get somebody's capital back. So because we wouldn't give capital back, these people went to an attorney to try and sue us. Well, this attorney gets a harebrained idea that he's going to try and do a class action lawsuit against us, and calls 100. I had 230 investors. He calls 100 of our investors. I don't know where he got the list from, where he got the names from, but I'm getting all these investor calls. And we're like, I have no idea what's going on, right? Well, he strikes out, right? None of these investors, all these investors are like, hey, you know, we're fine, we're happy, we understand what's going on. We're not going to get involved in this. So I believe that he went to the feds. I don't know for sure. And this other guy got indicted. It just kind of was a comedy of errors, perfect storm that happened. And as a result of that, they show up at our office. And they actually went to the home of this key executive of ours who was working on this other offsite job, and, you know, talked with him and then showed up at our office. So that's kind of how it all came together. Then one thing led to another. I was on vacation in August of 2010. When I came back from vacation, my ex-partner handed me 2 business cards, said, you need to find a criminal attorney. I said, criminal attorney? He said, yeah. He said, I can't talk to you anymore. I go, what do you mean you can't talk to me anymore? I had, at this point, I still am not thinking we're breaking the law, right? I know that we're bleeding cash, and I know we can't pay our bills, and I know I have properties upside down, and I have already at this point laid off 25, 30 people and have re-engineered some of the loans with some of the lenders and gotten interest rate reductions and done a bunch of mitigation. And he's telling me we're breaking the law. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't know what's going on. So what I found out 6 months later, speed fast forward 6 months, what I found out was while I was on vacation with my family in August that year, he testified at the grand jury to cut a deal.